Welcome to another episode of Den Excelsior. This is the live weekly podcast discussing the latest Marvel happenings across the media. But we've also been known to stray off topic from time to time, which I promise we will do. But if it's super powered, we'll discuss it here. Promise. This episode is being recorded on the evening of Friday, June 4th, 2021. My name is Dennis, and I gotta say, I am currently in the market for a robot Spider-Man of my very own. As always, I'm joined today by a distinguished nerd panel. So let's get to introducing them. First up, he's counting the days until Mephisto reveals himself in the Loki premiere. It's Frank.
Yeah, I'm hoping Mephisto shows up. I got to be realistic now. I don't think he will.
What? You put him on your bingo already?
That's because a part of me wants to believe, All
right. Okay. Well, next up, we do have somebody with a birthday just around the corner, and he's quickly approaching grown-ass adult status. It's Ricky.
Ayo!
You're getting old, man.
I know. Getting old and I'm gaining weight. Feels not fun, man.
Yeah. Look at our faces next to each other. We all just look, rotund and brown is what we're looking like right here. Well, let's add someone a little thinner to the mix. Our special guest this evening is the co-host of the Ridiculous on Rye podcast with Mikey and Dev, and he's a friend of this podcast also. It's Mikey.
What up? Your boy is back.
Man, you look way thinner than the rest of us.
It's not been easy achieving all this manliness, man. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. Welcome back, man. We're happy to have you.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. I'm glad you could join us for one of these fun, weird episodes where we're going to talk about, a movie that came out last year. But, that's what we're doing right now while we're waiting for Marvel to get their product back out on TV and in the theaters. I do want to let the viewers and the listeners know we're going to do things a little different because our friend Mikey has to cut out about an hour from now. So we're going to rearrange the format just a bit to make this conducive to him getting to, flex all of his cool notes and stuff that he had on this movie. So what we're going to do today is we are excited to talk about the New Mutants, but before that, we will dive into, or before we dive into that, we've got a brief chat on a nerd topic of my choosing, just a little appetizer to get us warmed up. But after the New Mutants conversation, we will have some news and rumors to discuss. As a reminder, this is also a chance for you to pick our brains with any Marvelous trivia or points of confusion that you may have. That includes everyone in the audience, and that includes Mikey as well. We'll be checking the comments throughout the show. And for those of you that can't get enough of us, you can visit patreon.com/denxmedia immediately after this broadcast ends for our live post show, The Soapbox, where we wind down and talk about the stuff we didn't get to in the first 1.5 hours. So, yeah, I think that's all the formalities out of the way. Mikey, you got anything cool going on this week?
Nothing but paying these bills, man.
Yeah.
Watching movies, paying bills. That's what we do.
Nice. Frank, you got a new background back there. Oh, shoot. Frank's muted also.
Oh,
no. I muted myself because I wanted to cut the buzz. No,
okay.
I got a new background because I'm moving into like a 2-bedroom apartment from a 3-bedroom house. So I'm going to have a lot of boxes. It's going to be box city for a little bit. I even had to slum it. I had to slum it with my 32-inch TV over there.
Yeah.
32 inches? Like, that's not even a TV. That's basically a phone.
So are you doing this to save up money for a robot Spider-Man of your own too?
Yeah, hopefully save up money and get me a Leopardon. That way I can just ride it to work when they lift the work from home stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Disneyland Robot Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen
You
that
got-
today.
You guys have seen the Disneyland Spider-Man that jumps from one building to another every like hour on the hour? That's a full-on robot dressed up as Spider-Man.
They're taking our jobs, man.
They are taking our jobs. That's amazing, though. Like it's
The Matrix.
That's spectacular.
freaky.
That's a Disney baller play right there.
It's wet. It's web of Frank. It's web.
That is adjectiveless.
Bob Iger smoking a cigarette before he leaves.
Yeah.
Get me a Spider-Man in Avengers Land, and he better jump, damn it.
For those that don't know, Avengers Campus officially opened up, I think, officially today. The ceremony was 2 days ago. But yeah, you can go there and you can see a Spider-Man robot jump around every hour or so, or maybe even faster than that. And he looks like he's risking his life, but he's not because he's a robot. So, but yeah, that actually
catch it. After it jumps, it lands in a net.
Yeah, it just destroys itself when it lands, and then they make a new one for the next hour.
It's Disney. They got that change.
Yeah, they can afford it.
Yeah.
If you shoot them in the head, you see the red eye and the skeleton come out.
Yeah. But I don't know if you guys have seen, are you guys all caught up on what's open there so far? It's mostly just a restaurant and then one ride that's a Spider-Man ride.
The other ride's not going to open until I think next year. But it's like a Spider-Man.
It's kind of like the Buzz Lightyear ride, but like you web shoot, right?
Yep.
Right. There's like little stuff you can buy in the gift shop that's interactive with it, right?
There's monetization stuff you can do where you can like buy upgrades and stuff. But it's
web slinger and repulsors, right? Now.
Yeah, but it looks like a AR game where you wear augmented reality glasses and they score you every time you do the finger flip. Which I'm a little bummed about because, as somebody who's disabled with some spasticity in my muscles, I ain't doing that move. Okay, that's not I'm just gonna go to Disneyland with a fake hand on a stick, and I'm just gonna be pointing it at my camera, at my glasses.
You have to sit next to a Disney cast member who's gonna do the motions.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. Or Spider-Man.
That thing's like $40, man.
The hand on a stick?
Stick? The little interactive thing that you put on. Yeah, it's like $40, man.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I was like,
That's like
there's some cool merch though.
Hey man, there was a pandemic. What do you want? They need money.
Yeah. You can buy a spider bot, you can buy Spider-Man eyes that light up. All your other Avengers merch. Yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited. It's kind of weird that it's obviously it's based on the MCU, but none of it's tied to the MCU, so it's kind of its own little fun space.
Yeah. Well, it does. I mean, I did want to bring it up because it actually ties into my question of the week, which I wanted to know just, because I was watching it and I'm like, it's cool. It's all cool looking, but I feel like I'm a little too grown up for it. So, I would, if I had kids, I would be like, this is awesome. I got to take my kids to this thing. But I'm curious from all of your guys' perspective, what is one ride or attraction that you want them to add to that campus?
Ooh.
Go for it, Mikey.
Okay. Well, I went on the website and I looked. I seen they had a Spider-Man one, Guardian of the Galaxies ride. I think they were trying to.
Guardian's been there for a couple of years, actually. It's been there for a few years.
I think there's four rides, right? And the one I was like,
no, there's two rides.
Didn't see was why have they put a Black Panther ride up there yet?
Because there's two rides.
Is that a case too soon or no?
Well, what would you want out of a Black Panther ride?
Like a tour of Wakanda, just
Wakanda.
Yeah, it's you go into the depths of Wakanda and see all the cool technology and stuff like that. I think that would be a pretty cool ride.
Well, there's the ride that's not open is an Avenger ride, which I would assume he's in it.
Right.
But it's not, aside from like a few pictures, they haven't shown what it is going to, or what exactly that ride's going to be.
Is it a motion ride or is it a roller coaster?
Like the Avengers headquarters thing that you have seen on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Spider-Man ride at Universal, how it takes you through
motion ride. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a Spider-Man ride's kind of like that a little bit.
The Universal Spider-Man ride is awesome, by the way.
The Orlando one in the island.
Yeah.
I've heard that one was sick.
It's a great ride. Yeah.
That'd be sick. You ride a battle rhinoceros in the Wakanda ride. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, it could go from the plains into like, how they were like deep underground and everything, and within the city. I mean, there's so many opportunities there that I feel like they could have took.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I'm just, I just asked what you guys want to see, So like, I think that's fair. I think it's fair, and I think a lot of people want to see more Wakanda there too, for sure. So I know they've got the Dora Milaje going around and like training kids for battle and stuff like that. Yeah,
badass.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's badass.
What about you, Ricky? What do you want to see?
I would want so that Star Wars ride that just opened last year, the Rise of the Resistance. That ride's like insane. From like start to finish, it's like a 20-minute experience because you go through like kind of a simulator, and then you kind of go into another line, and then you go into the actual ride. Like it's a full-on. There's levels to that ride, so I would like to see them do something on that scale, but with the Avengers. But I just don't know where they would put it. Like that space where they put Avengerland.
They promised multiple times that it will always be an expanding experience, and I know where to put it. Over the rest of California Adventure.
like they can annex the Hollywood part of it, right?
They can replace a lot of California Adventure if it makes money. Come on,
that's fair.
Yeah. What about you, Frank?
I'd like to see like an old how they have at Universal Studios. They used to have like this Harry and the Hendersons like. How to make the sound thing. They would have like plungers and slime, and that would
the Foley art kind of.
The Foley art. Yeah. So something like that, but like geared towards like the black and white WandaVision. Like you can kind of be a part of doing the Foley
That's
art,
cool.
Or maybe you can do like some of the effects or something.
That's pretty cool, and that's cheap. It's
something
cheap.
Like that would be great.
Yeah. I gotta say, like I've been to the Orlando park twice in my life. And I loved it both times. One of the things that I love the most, aside from the Spider-Man ride, is the Hulk ride. And it is because it's an actual roller coaster. And you don't see a lot of those at Disneyland, like with actual like spirals. And
that's more like a Six Flags game.
Yeah, but like the Hulk one is awesome because it actually straight up, you start from like an angled position and it just shoots you. There's no like go up, and build the momentum and then drop. It just shoots you from like 0 to like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 miles an hour. I could be wrong.
It's like
but no,
like Screaming Over California or whatever it's called.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, but it's really fun. And I just want to see something, like an actual roller coaster. You don't see a lot of those. I know they have like rules and stuff like that, about certain like. They try to like be family friendly at Disney.
I mean, that's not their MO though. Like I mentioned with the Star Wars ride, like that's what they're good at. Those motion rides, animatronics, and effects.
I didn't shoot down any of your guys' stuff. This is what this is what I want. I can want that. Yeah,
Ricky, this was his dream, and you're just
right.
Go to Florida.
He didn't bring that here to be contested.
Yeah, man, that wasn't what we were doing here. But I'm glad that you guys all got to share yours without any, anybody.
Those are all good ideas.
Thanks.
Which character are you excited to see at the park? Because there's a ton of them.
Well, I've already seen a few of them before. When I went to California Adventure the first time, I saw Spider-Man and Black Widow and Captain America. So I guess just the ones I haven't seen, I would like to see how they do a Rocket. I would like to see that, how they pull that off. I think I think Thanos deserves a person in a suit to walk around as. That'd be pretty cool. Or
Yes,
Death,
Josh
or
Brolin.
Mephisto. Mephisto.
Just murder people. Just like if you come with 2 kids, he just claims one.
Yeah.
Just walk around and say profound shit.
Yeah. He's all balanced in all things, and then he takes half of your pretzel.
I'm looking at my toys here, and you know who's a real easy one to do? They gotta do Stiltman. We need a Stiltman at Disneyland. Come on, man! Like it's like that's just awesome. Just somebody on stilts. There you go, Stiltman. It's Marvel accurate.
I mean, they could lean into the wacky, right?
Yeah, just go wacky. Let's see Howard the Duck. Let's see Ghost Rider.
Come here. Did you guys actually talk about that last week? Like,
we did.
Howard the Duck from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's
have
what
have
we
you
said.
seen that lately, Mikey?
What's platforms? I feel like I've seen it on
It's like on Peacock right
in the
now,
queue.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we saw it on Peacock. Yeah, Ricky paid for it because he's Ricky.
I just feel like, do I really want to watch this? Is it gonna hold up? I remember watching it a lot when I was a kid.
I was just saying the answer is no on both counts.
We had somebody in the comments who actually did watch it so they could keep up with us, and I'm like, oh my god, you are amazing! Like no one asked anybody to do this.
No.
Like I almost didn't want to do it myself, but we did it. We did it for comedy reasons, and it was.
It's definitely had its place.
Now I got to go back and watch it.
Oh no!
Yes, but
watch it with your son. It's a.
Why don't we talk?
Wait, don't. He's tricking you.
No, don't do it. Why don't we talk about something that's objectively better than Howard the Duck? All right. Say what you will about this movie, but I think it's time that we talk about New Mutants. So, Ricky, hit the button in the weird order. Oh man, we're doing it. We're talking. It's freaking 8:17, and we're talking about the spotlight.
Yeah,
it's so weird. It's weirding me out.
Way to hit those marks.
Yes, but yeah, we waited long enough, and we're putting a spotlight on the New Mutants, which came out in August 28th, 2020. So fair warning, there will be spoilers.
It is the most recent Marvel movie, right?
It is the most recent Marvel movie, and it actually was released by Disney, and I mean, it was the studio they credited for doing it was 20th Century Studios. And man, did that hurt my soul to not see the Fox on an X-Men movie, like, because I like when they, when it fades out and the X stays on for just an extra like second.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, there's no Fox, there's no X. They just took it away, and I was like, whatever. Fine.
Was there fanfare at the beginning of it?
Yes, there is fan. There's
little sound hook.
They play the fanfare. It's just it says 20th Century Studios, and that's what's weird about it. But anyways, that's just my little gripe at the beginning. I didn't let that affect me for the rest of the movie. But I do want to just give people the quickest recap in case you haven't seen it for a while. This is like a one-sentence summary, which is a group of young mutants held in a secret facility fight to save themselves. Yeah, that's about it. That's
all I need to know.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's fair.
The laziest synopsis I've ever heard you say.
It is pretty lazy, but like I feel like I spend so much time on these sometimes, and then Frank gets mad because I'm just talking all the time. So, I mean,
get mad one time.
What do you guys want to say about this one? Do you want to add to the synopsis? Like, what do you think? Like, what did I really miss?
There was a bear. You missed the bear.
Well, that's
a
what
purple dragon.
That's what they're fighting to save themselves from.
Purple dragon.
The tools of the fight.
The payoff of that was pretty cool.
It's a fun movie. Like I mean, you can't talk about this movie without talking about like the development hell that this thing went through. But the end product I thought it was a fine movie. It's fun. I enjoyed the fighting. I enjoyed like the dialogue between everyone. I thought everyone kind of got their little moment of their little slice of the story. The only thing, like watching this, because this is the second time I watched it, was like I kind of feel like this might have been better as like an HBO like a mini series or something. Because I didn't mind the long moments. I felt the beginning of that movie is a little slow, but I didn't mind that. But in hindsight, it's like, oh, maybe you could chop this up a bit and do more of a mini series.
I gotta say, for context, I've watched The Army of the Dead and a whole bunch of Fast and the Furious movies in the last few weeks. Yeah. Dude, I loved the length of this movie. I loved it. I was like, bro, you made a 1 hour and a half movie. Like, this is great. I found no problem with the pacing of this movie. I never thought it was slow at all. I thought it did. I thought everybody hit their mark. Everybody did what was supposed to be done. This movie is completely passable. Like, I was really upset to see how many people like hated this movie for being generic or whatever. And I'm like, okay, it was generic, but like, would you rather go watch Dark Phoenix? Like, dude, like, I don't know. I guess it's all up to
they knew the scope of this movie. Like I can't remember the director's name, but like I feel like he had a really good grasp on the scale of the story he was trying to say. It's not like an epic X-Men adventure. It's just a story about these mutants.
Josh Boone.
Josh Boone is the director, and he is also the guy who directed Fault in Our Stars.
He did the Stand miniseries too, right?
I don't know. You
did he? 90% sure.
That.
Give me one second.
I'm not sure.
Look,
I know for sure he's a fan of New Mutants, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, I want to up front thank you guys for finally making me watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because I've been ducking this movie ever since it came out. I really have, and a lot of people have told me it's good. But when I talked to Dennis last week about coming on podcast, and he told me about watching this movie, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And man, let me tell you, I absolutely love that movie.
Dude.
Yes, dude. Like I went into it and I was like, okay, this is about to be another teenage angst movie that I'm gonna trash. And man, did it just take off at a certain point. And you carried about the characters and what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy, is that her name?
Yeah.
Anya Taylor.
Anya
Holy
Taylor-Joy.
shit! Talking about taking you for a ride. From beginning to end, her character. At first I'm watching this, I was like, how long is it going to take for somebody to slap somebody in this movie? But then by the end of the movie, I really was invested in every character. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Awesome. I'm glad we could give you that. Like, because I thoroughly enjoyed it when I watched it the first time back in August. I paid the full price to watch it at home because it was pandemic. Like,
what else?
Very few people watch this in theaters.
I went to a drive-in to watch it.
Yeah, you did. You did go to a drive-in, but they knew what they were doing when they released it in August during like wave 15 of the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like they just wanted to burn it. They just wanted to get it done and out of the way. And if it made some money, but I felt like it got done dirty because like if they would have just waited, like I know it's not going to go anywhere because that universe is dead now, right? Like, so there's no more of Fox X-Men to do. So, but like, to be fair, that movie barely referenced the larger universe, like at all. Right. It was a pretty self-contained story. It just, they mentioned
the larger universe though. It needed that.
It needed the X-Men. It needed you to know who the X-Men were.
Or at least the audience. It needed the audience to know that they knew who It didn't need to reference anything specific though.
Yeah,
but I think if they made another movie, it could definitely hold its own, though.
They are not.
They won't. But I agree.
I wish they would.
Yeah,
they couldn't afford to bring that cast back if they wanted to.
Yeah. Well, the saddest thing is like Ricky mentioned the development hell it was in, and really it's not so much development hell. It's just like it's a really weird business thing that happened where this movie was being made right when Disney bought Fox.
Mm-hmm. And transition hell.
Right. It's a transition hell. And so like they didn't have any problems filming it or anything like that, but once there was a change in leadership or they did start pulling the purse strings and they're like, oh yeah, you're not getting any extra money for this. So whatever you do, whatever you got to do with what you got, with the money you got, make it work. And so, they had done some test screenings, and people actually like kind of dug the idea of like this movie kind of toys with the idea of being a horror movie, but it never quite goes full horror.
Right.
And like, I guess I was reading today that like there were plans to do reshoots to actually go further horror, but now Disney was in charge, and they're like, no, it's good enough. It's good enough, because Disney's not trying to like.
The original release date was April 2018.
Yep.
And it got delayed because it was going to go toe to toe with Deadpool or close to Deadpool.
Oh no.
Deadpool 2, sorry, Deadpool
No.
2. So that's what the first delay happened. But then by the time it's a new release date of August 2019, that's when he started having the Disney Fox stuff, which just locked that stuff down.
Actually, if you want to have more fun with it, this film had 5 release dates. Originally April 13th, 2018, then delayed to February 19th, 2019, then pushed to August 2nd, 2019, while Disney finalized the purchase of Fox. And then finally, the second to last push was April 3rd, 2020.
So we almost never seen this movie.
Yeah, like so basically they just like at when it came to March, Joss Boone said, "Hey, I'm done. I made the movie. It's done. Like I didn't even do reshoots. Like there was no extra reshoots, and actually they considered doing it to do the horror thing, but what ended up happening from what I've read is all the actors were like 2 years older, man. So it was going to be like, they're playing teenagers. So like it just didn't. It couldn't work. They couldn't do it for a cheap or on the cheap. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to do the de-aging tech like It Chapter 2 did.
Well, they don't got that money.
Anya Taylor-Joy probably has definitely risen in esteem since.
Yeah, she's blown up since then.
Well, I mean, this movie came out after the chess movie.
I'm not even talking about.
It technically did, yeah.
It did, but I'm not even talking about that. Like she was also in.
That's obviously like when she was what season of Game of Thrones is that? That's when she was in.
Oh, you're talking about Maisie.
Williams. Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
I think
she's definitely younger than this. It was, but
she was younger for sure.
She was 17 or so when they were filming this.
They filmed in 17, so that was a while ago, man. That was 4 years ago. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I really dug this movie, so I'm really happy to hear that. Like Frank, what did you think of this one? You'd already seen it. You'd already seen it once before, right?
Yeah, I bought it I think around the time you bought it, actually. I might have waited for it to go on the cheap. I can't remember exactly, to be honest. That year was kind of a blur. But I did. Like we watched it and we read all the hate about it, and we watched it and we're like, it was good. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like anything too special, but it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But like there was something that was holding it back. I felt it wasn't plugged into the larger universe, and that's what kind of made it kind of ring hollow.
For me, that's what I like.
It wasn't trying to, right? But like at the same time, for it being like the swan song of that universe, you kind of want like an extra hook, right?
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like if it's going to be the last movie entry in that universe, at least have Hugh Jackman be like, "Hey, what's up? All right, I gotta go."
Right.
Well, in fairness, they didn't know they were going to be the last entry in that universe. You know what I mean?
Right.
This actually, when they started development on this, Joss Boone actually pitched this as a trilogy. So it was meant to be a New Mutants trilogy with like Warlock coming in the second one, and then like the third one was like a bigger alien invasion. All this, like, I read all the speculation of what was going to happen. Apparently, Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be. He was actually he was actually cast as Warlock.
I'm a Warlock. It's a nice.
Yeah.
Well, walk me through who are the New Mutants in the movie.
So the New Mutants were actually in the comics created by Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz, I think is how I pronounce his name. And basically, like, Claremont, Claremont's kind of like X-Men God, right, Frank? Like, I mean, he basically
pretty much all the major stories in the X-Men
Yeah.
you could think of, 80s, 90s. That's all Claremont.
Yeah, Claremont basically came in to what was kind of a dying franchise at the time, and he reinvigorated X-Men, and people ate up everything he was doing, and so he started branching it more and more and getting bigger and bigger. So he wanted to go kind of like he kind of wanted to recapture the magic of the original X-Men, which was, when they started, it was a group of 5 teenagers that were kind of learning about themselves and learning, going through puberty and learning about their powers and stuff.
But
so that's kind of
also to add to that, he wanted like ethnic diversity in the teenage group.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to do it right. Whereas like the first time around when Stan Lee did it, they were all white kids. They were all white kids, and so this time around he wanted to have that representation. So you've got Danny Moonstar, who's actually of Cheyenne descent. You have
Mirage.
Yeah, well that's her code name. Code name Mirage. Yeah, Karma, I think, is Asian descent, right?
Sunspot's Brazilian, right?
Yeah, Karma's Chinese. Sunspot is from Brazil, and then Wolfsbane.
Then you had the LGBTQ twist to it.
Yeah,
that was added later, actually. Like they made Wolfsbane.
I thought in the comics though, Karma was gay, right?
I don't think she was gay originally, but she might have been later. I think all the gayness was added later.
That's fair.
But I mean, in the context of this movie, though, that it didn't feel like a forced.
You know what?
I gotta tell you, it was.
That little love story was very sweet. It was very well done, very sweet. And I even wrote down a line that she said, "You're too nice. I feel like I made you up." And I was like, wow, that's pretty good writing. That was very sweet. It wasn't like overdone. It was very subtle.
There was an innocence to it where it's not played up for jokes or, they don't, no one ever like, oh, you're gay. Like
there was no rock band scene.
Yeah. It's not the random black dude from the 80s movies with the hand glasses that's in every fucking John Hughes movie.
What is that? Hollywood from
exactly.
Hollywood.
Yeah. I do want to add to that scene that you brought up, because I thought it was a really beautiful scene, but also because of the visuals, right? Because like they built this little tiny world where like they're in this crazy mental hospital, or I mean, it was actually filmed in a mental hospital, but and they're surrounded by this weird energy dome, and that dome is basically the excuse for why, hey, this movie's never going to leave this set. We're never going to go past this. Like, we're not going to go see X-Men. We're not going to do anything else. But they made good use of that dome when it starts raining while they're laying out there on the field, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that was a really beautiful looking thing to see the rain hitting that energy dome. And so I don't know. I was really touched by some of those scenes. Like, I thought it was really cool. It did remind me of an 80s movie because it was just it was moving pretty fast and it was hitting all the points it needed to hit. It didn't really linger on anything, maybe long enough. Maybe there might have been times where it could have lingered, but it did what it did what needed to be done all the time. Yeah.
So the big bad in this movie, I can't remember the doctor's name.
Dr. Cecilia Reyes.
Dr. Cecilia Reyes. But she was reporting to an even bigger bad, Mr. Sinister, right?
Nathaniel Essex.
They had teased in
Logan.
In Apocalypse, right?
I don't know about Apocalypse. Definitely Deadpool and definitely Logan.
Yeah, well, they reuse a scene from Logan in this movie.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I recognize this. I was trying to figure out what movie that was from. That's from Logan in the kids' lab or whatever that was.
Yeah. It was the same. It was the same footage that they had, like when they're.
What? Yeah. Is he just like the X-Men's Norman Osborn, kind of?
No, that's underselling Mr. Sinister quite a bit. Mr. Sinister is amazing. He is a freaking dude because like he's kind of like
he's like Dracula mixed with
Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a mutant, though, right?
Yeah,
Dracula or something.
He's. I think he
think
is.
He's a mutant, though.
He's technically, he's not a mutant. Like he.
Technically.
he is the result of massive experimentation on himself because he's fascinated with mutants, and so he wanted to catalog and build mutants. So like he's always trying to capture mutants and like find the best genetic stock, and like there's very often stories where he wants to like make Jean Grey and Scott kiss. He's like, now kiss, you know, like he wants to make babies out of them all the time.
That's
To
hilarious.
be fair, though,
Give me that movie.
They make the most juiced babies like imaginable.
They do make the most juice babies. That's why he wants them to kiss all the time. He's
Yeah.
like, because but that's his whole thing is he's always trying to find the most superior mutants.
He's like a horse breeder.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was actually cast. John Hamm was cast to play him.
I heard. Yes.
And with filming of the role completed, though his role has reportedly been cut from the film as a result of an extensive reshoot process that is changing elements of the film.
That's funny. You know, Clancy Brown played him in the Canadian cartoon Wolverine and the X-Men.
Dude, that show is so good. It's like the best.
It was really good.
Guys, if you've never watched that show, watch it on Disney Plus. It's so good.
I just like Clancy Brown. I've been on a Clancy Brown kick lately.
I know you
The
have.
whole month.
You know,
Clancy Brown's awesome though.
This is one of my selling points for that show. The reason they only did one season of that show is because they decided that it was too expensive to do a second season.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
That's
always a good sign.
I mean, it's a good production value for what you get out of the first season.
Unlike Invincible.
Oh man. Shots fired. But yeah, all of these characters were actual characters from the comics. Like Frank was saying, Karma and Magma were Karma's not in the Demon Bear story. Magma is.
Yeah, Magma is.
Right.
Magma was a later addition to the
But
sorry.
Yeah, but to be clear, this story is loosely based on an actual, I think, 3-issue comic story from Bill Sienkiewicz and Chris Claremont that I actually read before the movie last year. It's called Demon Bear Saga, and it's really really good. It's really good. It's a cool story, but it's very similar, except for the fact that like they're not locked up in an insane asylum or anything like that. Like, but the bear is like a manifestation of Danny's fears and is threatening. It's getting bigger, and it's going to kill everybody in this hospital, and so everybody else is trying to figure out how to protect everybody in the hospital. And meanwhile, Rain, which I swear to God, Frank, did you always think her name was pronounced Ronnie?
No, I always thought it was Rain.
You always thought it was Rain?
Yeah.
When I read it in the comics, I always thought it was Ronnie. Because it's spelled Rahne. I don't know how you get rain from that.
I can
European.
see that. Like, I was gonna say it's European, and I hung out with a lot of Scots back in the
European.
day too. But I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up when there's ones that I didn't know. That way you can laugh at me.
That's fair. But yeah, I always thought she was Ronnie. But
when I was reading Harry Potter, it was always Hermy 1 instead of Hermione. I'm all at Hermy 1. Check. Hermy 1.
I have to assume her name is actually Rain, because I wouldn't think that Marvel would let Fox mispronounce her name, but maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they're like, yeah, oh, look at you guys. You can't even pronounce her name right. You fools.
She's going to show up in Loki as Ronnie Sinclair.
Yeah, but in the comics, Rain is trying to use like her special bond with Danny to wake her up so she can stop this crazy bear. But yeah, there's a lot of visuals that come straight out of the comic, and I appreciate that.
Shows up too.
Yeah, that bear was badass, man.
Doesn't Ghost Rider show up in that story? Am I just misremembering it?
I think you're misremembering that. Yeah.
Okay.
I know Professor X shows up in that story though.
They had a sequel to the Demon Bear, didn't they?
Probably. I don't remember. Yeah.
So is this Demon Bear, is once she gets hold of her powers and able to control it, is this something that she can summon at any time?
I think they like slay it in both the comics and the
Like,
movie.
nah, you can't have this.
The difference between the comic and the movie is that the comic book, Danny's power isn't like a real. It's not like a hard light manifestation like the one in the movie. Like she hurt Rain, she hurt everyone that her imaginary like powers. When her powers manifested, she hurt people. Like in the comic books, it's just light, and it's just an illusion. It doesn't hurt.
It's like
anybody.
a projection.
It's like a projection. So the demon bear doesn't actually hurt people.
I'm about to say, because this movie, her power seems pretty OP. Like,
I thought it hurt people in that comic.
You know, you would know better than me since you read it recently, but I'm pretty sure like it didn't, and like all their hurts, every pain that came out of it was like them like screwing up on their own. You know,
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I read it back in like August, so I can't really remember everything, but I do recommend it. It is a cool book, and it's a cool companion to the movie. I don't think the movie's the better version of that story, but I think the movie's it's a fun movie, you know. So.
It did its job for somebody that didn't know anything about it. Now I'm getting interested. Now I want to look into that comic book series now.
Oh man, that's awesome, because that was actually one of my questions I was going to ask you, which was, did this movie make you interested in reading the comics?
Yeah, for sure.
You just scratch that one off. I don't really care about Frank or Ricky's answer to that question.
Maybe if we can find a Spanish version, right? Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are cool. Like I have a stack of Spanish comics like El Hombre Araña and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have one issue of El Hombre de Araña.
That's cool.
Yeah.
we had seen Sunspot in Days of Future Past, right? He's in that temple with Professor X in the beginning.
I don't remember Sunspot there, but I do remember Roberto da Costa's name showing up on that database when Mystique is like breaking into that building that has that's looking up all the mutants, and it's like Remy LeBeau and Roberto da Costa, and also fun fact, if I remember correctly, Roberto da Costa's name shows up in Endgame. Also,
who's he?
No, it's on the list of
I know, but
missing people.
Who's Roberto da Costa?
Sunspot. We're answering your questions, bro. Like,
I just know him as Sunspot.
They only call him Sunspot never in that movie that you just watched.
Sunspot.
They never call him as Sunspot, and somehow you only know him as Sunspot.
The dude that looks like the sun.
He doesn't look like the sun. He turns all black.
The sun's pretty black.
What the heck?
There's a reason why they call it Sunspot.
Yeah.
That's
Have you ever looked at the sun?
No,
not intentionally.
No, you're not supposed to, Ricky.
Because it's so.
Not after 10 years old. No.
Yeah.
We hit a certain age, Ricky. We just stopped looking at the sun.
Yeah. Only
former presidents. Not good for you.
Only former presidents do that. Anyways, I was answering your question. Roberto da Costa, his name has shown up in several movies before. So, you know.
To answer Ricky's question, I just looked it up, and Sunspot does show up in Days of Future Past.
Okay.
And then the Sentinel actually uses his power, mimics Sunspot's power to beat Iceman when he's fighting Iceman.
Yes, that's what it was. I remember a fire dude being the catalyst for Iceman's demise.
Yeah. Cool. Good fun fact. Thanks for doing the research.
That's my favorite part on freaking the Maverick Top Gun. Yeah, Iceman, and he's on. Like, what does he do? He's on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And Val Kilmer does that. He's all like Iceman, and then he looks up.
We're talking about Top Gun. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you had switched Iceman here.
There's only one good Iceman. There's only one Iceman worth talking about.
Anyways, guys,
he's getting a documentary. Val Kilmer.
It's not like Mikey doesn't have somewhere to be.
Oh, sorry, Mikey.
We are contractually obligated to have 15 more minutes of Mikey. So,
Mikey, I got a question for you. Like, I know you like the movie, but like, was there something that you wanted more or less of in this movie?
I mean, I don't know if it's like the format going back to the hour and a half, but I feel like they got everything I needed in that time. Like the story arc was complete to me. I mean, you know, it left it like before you guys told me, I thought, yeah, it was setting up to, you know, do another movie. But then again, I'm okay with how it ended and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I don't know. I liked I didn't know what to expect going into the movie. It's another one of those situations, and I was super pleasantly surprised at how the outcome was for me. So
yeah,
I'm good with it. I'm happy with the movie. If that answers your question to some.
That's fine. What about you, Ricky?
No, it's a nice tight hour and a half movie. All the check boxes are there. You got some cool action. We got new characters, but like Mikey said, it's very open and closed. I do remember though. I mentioned like months ago when we were first talking about watching this movie, how I had a story about Danny's dad, who's Slipknot in Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, you did. You did want to bring this up before, and we were like, "Why are you bringing this up when we're going to talk about New Mutants in a few weeks?"
I mean, I was once
do the story. Do the story. Go.
It's not a long story. It's just I was once solicited by his wife on Tinder back in the day.
I really hope he's not watching right now.
Wait, what's Tinder? Is it like a Latin?
Oh, the Tinder. Sorry.
Oh, the Tinder. Sorry.
Tinder,
that'd be awesome.
As a young single man at that time, you would do the old just keep swiping, see what sticks, and this lady stuck because you're not looking at the pictures, you're just swiping, and she had matched with me, and then I kind of looked through her pictures and like I see that him in all of them, like all the other ones except for the one her main photo, and lo and behold, yeah, they're like in an open relationship. It was I declined that invitation, but I just thought it was interesting. I put him on blast now. I feel bad airing out his dirty laundry.
Yeah, you really did. There was not a lot of closure to that story or anything.
He's in the comic section. He's saying that he's going to get you, Ricky.
I didn't follow up with his invite, so.
Well, that's why. That's what he's saying. He's going to get you now.
So
you made this weird. I don't even know how to segue off of this one, man.
You got me.
In your opinion, in this movie, who was the most powerful mutant in that hospital?
Tinder, apparently.
Damn it.
Aside from Danny? Because I feel like Danny's pretty OP.
Danny was way OP in this movie.
That swipe right is powerful, man.
Yeah, just keep swiping.
I don't know. I thought personally, I thought Magic was the most OP. Like I do have the question of if she can teleport, why the hell was she stuck in that force field?
Didn't they say she couldn't get past it?
It's like a Nightcrawler situation. She can only see, right?
No, I don't think so. Because she goes through limbo.
She goes through limbo, and then
Nightcrawler goes through limbo also.
Does he go through limbo or does he goes through a different dimension?
Purgatory. It's purgatory, right? Because the brimstone smell.
Yeah. He gets that sulfur smell.
He has a different dimension that he goes through. I'm pretty sure.
There's a lot of hell dimensions in Marvel comics. So whatever.
You know what I really like though? Cannonball. How he just kept on getting fucked up when he actually uses power.
That was kind of dumb because he's invulnerable when he uses power in the comics.
Yeah. Like, why did he have a cast on?
And they actually do say he's invulnerable at some point later in that movie too. So that's why I was kind of confused. I was like, maybe like I want to say that they were like he was learning his power, right? And so maybe he's like maybe it's on the land when he's like turning his power off and he's turning it off too early. You know, that's my headcanon for why he's breaking his arms and stuff like that. Like
I think
because it doesn't make sense to me otherwise. Yeah.
And how many more skinny British actors that look like they need some sleep are going to play these parts? Every last one of them, man.
Man.
It's true. It's true.
He looked like he was hungover the whole movie.
You're killing me, man.
I thought it was funny because like half the cast they actually got people appropriate for their part, right? Like the actress who played Danny, she is of Native American descent, and she actually like this is her first movie. This is her first movie. And then the guy that they got to play Roberto da Costa is also from, I think, Brazil. But then they got Anya Taylor-Joy to play a Russian, and I don't know if you know, she's actually Argentinian.
Yeah, she's Argentinian.
Yeah. Wasn't she like born in Florida though? She was born in like Miami or something like that. Right?
Yeah, but
she's part British though, British Argentinian. And then Maisie Williams is also English. I think.
And she's English, playing a Scot.
Yeah.
And then but what I mean, did you think there was too many accents in this movie, or just enough?
I think just enough.
It wasn't distracting, right?
It wasn't annoying.
Yeah,
it was mostly just Sam and Rain, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, and Ileana. Sorry.
I think Sam needed an accent. I didn't really feel his accent. I don't know. I guess maybe
really.
I read his comic books like hella rednecky, and like maybe I want someone like Larry the Cable Guy. Or something.
Right. That's what be faulting a lot of English actors. They can do like that country accent really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing that to answer your question from earlier that I wanted to see was I wanted to see that stone that Cannonball used kind of come into play later. Like I would have liked it if he, did one hit on the Demon Bear with the chain and the stone that he used to tether himself.
Kind of like a Chekhov's gun for you is what it was, right? Like
because like why did they show it like just to tether him down? It would have been cool to see him be released from that tether by hitting the Demon Bear with.
I did think it was a cool way of showing him practice. Like it reminded me of tetherball, but just upside down, like upside down. It did. I felt those vibes.
That's funny.
So I do have go ahead.
Oh, I did have a fun question for Mikey, because I know Frank can answer this one, but stay quiet for a second. Mikey, do you know who Ileana's brother is?
Okay, Ileana. One more time. Which one is that?
Ileana Rasputin.
That's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Okay, her brother.
In the movie.
It is.
Who is it?
It is Colossus.
You got it.
The logo half court.
Yeah, Colossus is
downtown.
Colossus is her older brother.
Is she intrinsically like? Are her and Lockheed? How are they connected in the comics?
They are friends. They're friends.
But Lockheed's more of like a character, though, right?
Lockheed is a pet.
He's an alien, I think.
He is an alien, but you don't find that out until like the 2000s, I think, or like really late in the comics. But no, not that late. It's actually more like in the 90s or 80s. I think it's in the 80s.
And he's Claremont. He's another Claremont adventure.
Yeah. He is a creation of Chris Claremont, but he's more associated with Shadowcat. But there are comics where Lockheed hangs out with those are like his two favorite people is Magic and Shadowcat. So it wasn't wrong to include him in the movie, and in fact, I'm happy they did because
cool.
we freaking had like 12 other X-Men movies without Lockheed in it.
Freaking Dragon. His first appearance was in one of the stupidest Uncanny X-Men books that I've ever read, and it's like Magic is having trouble sleeping or something. So Kitty Pryde makes up a fairy tale, and it has Lockheed in it, and like Wolverine's like this ogre in the fairy tale.
That's why when they travel to a dimension later that's inhabited by dragon creatures, they decide to name Lockheed after the fairy tale that she told Magic when she was trying to cover it. That's how Lockheed got his name. So he is intrinsically tied to Magic in the comics. So it's just he prefers to hang out with Kitty Pryde. That's his girl.
It was something because like he saved her from the Brood or something. So it was like a reverse Wookiee Life Dead or something where he saves her and then like
you're fine now.
And then it's like, I guess I'll abandon my family and go hang out with you.
Yep. It's
by the way, I did want to say we kind of ignored him, but I did want to say hi to Ian Jones who's in the chat holding it down. yes, Ricky is trying to get those viewer hits with that dirt that he dished on
Hot
on
scoops.
Danny's
Contact me.
dad earlier. Yes.
You should have told me that story when I was single, Ricky. That would have been.
Oh yeah, it
I would've been
wasn't during
on-
like a Comic-Con either, so it was like, oh, why are you in San
Oh, so it's
Diego?
real. Yeah, I would have been on Latin Tinder like immediately that night.
I want to give Mikey two more questions before he's got to go, because I know he's got to take off soon. One's a really fast one where the filmmakers, they had cited several films that they used as reference points for this movie. They actually cited, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 specific movies that they were referencing. I would like to see if you can guess them. I will give you a hint. None of these movies are before 1988.
Ooh.
Guess the 4 movies that they were trying to reference.
Breakfast Club.
Yes, that's one.
Shit. That's about the only ones. I'm trying to think of what
Really?
crazy. I didn't even watch it for that. I missed all of them.
Look at this scene right here that's on the screen, and tell me you can't picture one other movie. You
Think
can't
of an
think one
iconic 80s horror movie
or a 70s one even,
or 70s one.
where they're all sitting in a mental hospital in a circle, sharing their feelings.
With I was gonna say with Jack Nicholson.
So,
Are you talking about one flew over the cuckoo's nest?
Yes,
I thought that was
I
in
got-
the 70s.
it is 70s. I said nothing was after.
Oh, I'm
88.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm totally okay. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, that changes everything because I was
Yeah.
thinking that too. So yeah, that one.
It was.
So there's 5?
I got the most vibes from that. No, it's four movies. You're
Let's see.
you got 2 so far. That I got a lot of vibes of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in this movie when I was watching it.
That was pretty fresh off your
Peach Dragon.
No, that's
Dragon. I
good.
haven't seen
Good guess.
that in a while.
Good guess. Good guess.
I was thinking Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is what.
Yeah, there it
that's-
is.
that's where I was going.
Which is it?
The Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. That's
Oh,
the one.
damn. Yeah,
that's
I forgot all about that piece of crap.
Whoa,
What? That's
That
the
movie
best
was
one.
horrible,
That's
man.
the best one.
so good.
Oh,
She has a
No.
mohawk and she has switchblades and she's like, I'm beautiful and bad.
What was the song? It's like Dream Warriors. What was it?
By Dawkins. Heck
It was
yeah.
like some hair band was singing that.
Yeah, it's super good.
so
Man.
supposedly the third movie. Ricky, you want to take a shot at what the third one or the fourth movie is? The fourth one, I don't see it, but they say The Shining was the other reference point that they were
Yeah, I
going
can
for.
see that.
Sure, yeah.
A lot of illusions.
Creepy building
Yeah.
illusion.
Yeah.
Well,
Not trusting what they see and stuff like that, like
right.
and the giant, like, you got to remember, like, that's a huge facility for the 6 people that were hanging out there the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's like,
That was a
Oh,
big facility, so it
Right.
does kind of remind me of the Overlook Hotel, I guess. Yeah, I see it now. Okay, I changed my mind. All right, that was the fun one. You did pretty good. You got 2 out of 4, and then
Wait a minute.
you
What
just-
was the fourth one?
The
The
Shining.
Shining.
Okay.
Red
Yeah.
Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get Breakfast Club, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and Cuckoo's Nest more than anything. when I saw
What
it.
a mix though, even with just those 3. What
It's a pretty cool mix, though. I kind of dug that about it. I wish, honestly, to answer my question from earlier, I wish they leaned into the horror more. I really wanted to be scared by that movie. Like, it would have just been so fun. Like, it really bummed me out watching that movie, just immediately knowing, well, none of these people are going to die. They're just not going to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it completely took the fun out of it. Like, for that element of it. Like, I couldn't be scared for anybody ever because I knew they weren't going to die.
Mhm.
So I knew that the only one who could die was the doctor.
Well,
Like,
I
she
wonder,
was-
like, if hindsight was 2020, had they known that this movie wasn't going to get sequels when they were filming it, you think they would have killed someone off?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe probably
Kill Rain for the emotional impact. Yeah. All right. Last question that we'll send Mikey off with, and thank you once again for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. and I just want to see, since now Disney owns the X-Men, what would you like to see Disney do differently with the mutants?
I don't know, man. I feel like I would like more of these movies to be more adult, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got a list of movies.
Like, I get it's Disney. I get that they have a base audience. I feel like for that genre to come to Disney, I just feel like it just needs to be more adult, because there's a lot of adults that want to see like a level of violence in these movies that I feel like we're missing out on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I see that for sure. I do appreciate that that this story was about teenagers and doing teenage things, because like for me, I feel like that is a big part of parts of X-Men is not fitting in and not understanding how to fit in.
It's a lot of like coming of age, right?
Yeah, it's a coming of age kind of story. Exactly right. So
that's why
I felt like the action and the violence fit this movie. This was fine. Yeah. This was done well.
You got to see a giant bear tooth fly across the room,
dude. I mean, yeah, it was good. I mean, the first time that she pulled out that sword and the arm, turned into metal, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're about to do. Yeah. Like that surprised me. I was, oh, okay, damn. So yeah, I going forward, I would like to see more adult violence.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Ricky, Frank, what do you got? Anything?
For them to lean more into the allegories that the X-Men, were kind of alluded to in the comics, like the racism and the, LGBTQ discrimination, all that stuff. I feel like in the Fox films, you would kind of get just an overall like
they got
humans are bad. Yeah, those were never the focal points of the story. I want to see some like real.
They did a good job in the Fox ones. Like
real discrimination.
I think the first two did a great job of that. I think the first two did.
Should be clear. Yes, I meant the first two. Yeah. When I said those movies, I meant the first two.
Even having them succeed in their first movie, saving the world, and have the world still be shitting on them. Like I think that's
great.
That's X-Men right there.
Yeah. Well, cool.
But to your point, Ricky, that kind of stuff, I just don't want it to be forced. I want it to be written so it's seamless, that it's just like, oh wow, they just threw that in there just to have it in there.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like
you're in the first one where Iceman is basically coming out to his parents. It's kind of like a.
Was it necessary? I mean,
yeah, no, that's a great scene. It's basically him coming out to his parents about being a mutant.
Well, what I'm saying is that would it be that was great, but are they doing it unnecessarily? Like in the future, will they be doing this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. No, they'll be doing it to check boxes. Like that's
right. It shouldn't be gratuitous, and also it shouldn't be an excuse to dance around real racism, real things that we see in the world. But depending on how we handle it, I think it could be really cool.
Right.
Cool scenes.
Let's not just it's like looking at Facebook now that everybody has a pride thing around their,
Yeah.
Let's just not make it,
Don't do it to check
on the
box.
bandwagon. Yeah, just not get on the bandwagon with everybody else.
Mikey, I know you got to go, and so I just want to do one last pearl of wisdom for you. I think you can finish this one for me.
Right.
Inside every person, there are two bears, forever locked in combat for your soul. One bear is all things good, compassion, love, trust. The other is all things evil, fear and shame and self-destruction. Which bear wins?
Fear, shame, and self-destruction, because you really have no rules.
That was really awkward. That was a little awkward right there. The answer is the one you feed.
Oh, taken down by his own dad jokes. Okay, got it.
That's the end of the movie. That was the end of the movie.
That's the dad joke. The dad said that though.
They open with that, right? They open with that as well.
No, the one you feed is at the end of the movie. They open with the story, but they don't finish it until the end.
Right.
of the movie. Yeah, and I did appreciate that because that for me was the most X-Men movies since the first two movies, like as far as I'm concerned, because it spoke to that whole.
Let Mikey go
struggle.
if he needs to go.
Yeah, so
No,
now I am letting him go because he totally flubbed that one. And
yeah, I did. My bad. I fumbled on the one or whatever.
Yeah, he fumbled. It's cool. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick around. We're gonna stick around and talk about other stuff. But you have a good night, sir, and we will see you again.
Ricky, make sure you tell your girlfriend happy birthday for me.
I will.
Tell her congratulations.
I'll do that too.
All right. Great to see you guys again. I will talk to you guys soon.
See you, man.
Later, guys.
I like when you were talking about your pearls of wisdom. You're all like, true story about fortune cookies.
And then there were 3.
No.
I was doing some few notes on that movie, and I guess Bob McLeod, the creator of the New Mutants, or co-creator, was not happy with the film. First off, they spelled his name wrong in the theatrical release. So.
Really?
Oh, Bob McLeod.
McLeod.
Bob McLeod.
Yes.
Clay McLeod.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And then he was also kind of bummed with Sunspot, how he is, I guess, Afro-Brazilian in the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, he's half black, and
then he's more Portuguese in this one, right?
Sure. Sure. I mean, I don't really.
To answer your question from earlier, Dennis, what I would want from a future installment would be for them to lean in. Even though I hated Marvel's space bullcrap, I think they've done a really good job in the movies of making me like the space bullcrap.
You're saying you hated Marvel Comics space bullcrap.
I hate Marvel Comics space bullcrap.
But you love Marvel Studios space bullcrap.
But I love MCU space bullcrap. Yep.
That's fair.
You want X-Men in outer space.
Yep, I want the Brood. I want the Shi'ar.
Marvel Comics space bullcrap walked so that the movies could run, though.
I'm fine with that.
I mean,
but that means we get a Warlock, right? I want Warlock.
One would argue that Marvel's comic space bullcrap crawled like with one arm, like Anakin from Mustafar lava pool, so that Marvel Cinematic Universe could walk.
Are there mutants in space in the Marvel comics?
There's plenty, and I feel like we will answer that question further in the soapbox because I think we only have about 20 some minutes left to do. I think we got to do the news.
All right,
I promise to answer that question and many more because I have a lot more stuff that I could have talked about New Mutants. But
all right.
let's do this news.
Okay. We actually got quite a bit of news this week. Give me some.
Well, make it snappy then.
Alrighty, we touched on it at the beginning with our question of the week, but yeah, Avengers Campus opened at Disney's California Adventure. It's always cool to see a new land at the Disneyland. And as part of the opening, they showed off, some of the stars of the MCU and up-and-coming stars of the MCU. So we have Simu at the Shawarma place or palace that they have there, Shawarma Cart.
Oh, yeah, is that what it was? You dropped that in the chat with no context. So
I watched the whole opening ceremony.
It was cool,
and it ended with just him like winking to the camera, and it was like, okay.
I mean, they had Favreau there, they had Feige there, Anthony Mackie was there.
Side note: Simu's TV show Kim's Convenience, the newest season just came out on Netflix this week, and it's really funny because they're basically pulling a Chris Pratt with him. Chris Pratt, Parks and Rec. So like this whole season he's like teleconferencing because he's decided to go to business school in California. So like they only got him like in a tiny room on a Zoom camera or like on a webcam because he's probably like actually filming, like Shang-Chi during that time.
Dude, based on this picture, so Anthony Mackie gave his shield up again. Damn it! Won't he ever learn?
He did.
Well,
He
I thought
did
it was
do
fun. That was kind of the big announcement. They're like, and we're also going to have Sam Wilson Captain America, like in the park. And I think we talked about it prior, but if you notice on his face, his mask is doing that kind of bunching that they mentioned in the behind the scenes
removed.
show.
Yeah.
Like that's where a lot of the VFX shots they all had to be done to his face.
I appreciate this because like all of like the other black male characters, like like Black Panther's fully covered, and then like if they ever do have War Machine, again fully covered. So like it's nice to have somebody that you can actually like a kid can see and relate to and be like, hey, I want to go talk to him and stuff. I will say that the coolest thing about having those characters there is like the Disney princesses and all the other characters, they're really good about like committing to the character and stuff. And so like when you go and you get to talk to them and interact with them, like it's fun to see how they react to things. Like I remember when I met the Captain America there a few years ago, like I was wearing a Darth Vader shirt and he's like asking me, he's like, who's that guy? And I'm like, Darth Vader? And I was
Before
like,
your time.
He's like a space Nazi.
I was like, from Star Wars? And he's like, oh, he's on my that movie's on my list of things to watch. And he's like, so is he like a good guy? And I was like, nah, he's the bad guy. And I was like, but he dies at the end. And he's like, did you just spoil Star Wars for me? And I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. But yeah, so like I'm excited to see, like I want to go interact with those people, all the different characters there, and just be like, troll them, I guess, if probably what I do, because I do for fun.
I used to ask Mary Poppins out on dates, and then she would like flick me, like try to flick my nose and be like inappropriate.
Nice. That's funny. Abuse.
Yeah,
that's assault. That's assault.
I would like that.
Yeah.
No, we know
she
Frank.
was so mad. She's like, "Did you just get a boner?" Like penguins get him, and then the penguins just come out.
Dick Van Dyke comes out and slaps you in the
face. Let's move along, Ricky. Let's keep going.
Alrighty.
Talking about Slipknot.
This one's kind of a bummer. Ruth Carter is not coming back for Black Panther 2.
Maybe they're like, we got all your designs, sucker. We don't need you.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Like she did a lot of work with making all the tribes, they're very distinct in their colors and their design. Like her work is, I would say, not needed, but the heavy lifting's done in terms of the sequel.
Yeah, I don't think it's horrible that she's not coming back. Like it's, we don't know what that movie is yet, so it's hard to say if it's a bad thing or a good thing.
The costume designer of the Queen of Katwe is replacing her. Mobalaji Dawudu is.
Wow, I'm pretty sure you butchered that.
Yeah, it's.
We don't have a written name to compare that to, so we have no idea how bad that was.
They're gonna be like, no, he got it right. That's exactly how you pronounce it.
Moving on, we got some Spider-Man sneakers. This is actually the second run of these with some new colorways, but this is for Donovan Mitchell, player on the Utah Jazz. He has like an Adidas Spider-Man collaboration going on, so he has shoes based on different Spider-Man characters. We got this one, more of a classic look.
Those don't look anything like Spider-Man.
What are the colors? Well, here, how about this one? Who does that look like?
I mean, at least that one has webs on it.
Is that Venom?
It's a Spider-Gwen.
The other one didn't. The other one didn't have webs on it. It was just red and blue.
Who dat?
Is that Sharknado?
No, that's that character from Mario.
Oh, that's Critters.
You're
talking about Chomp Chomp.
Yeah, the Chomp Chomp or whatever it is.
Yeah, Chomp Chomp. Sweet. I want some Chomp Chomp shoes.
Yeah.
Well, you can get Chomp Chomp shoes. They're coming out later this month.
Nice.
Are those
super excited?
lobster tank proof?
No.
Damn.
All right, let's move on to Dennis's addiction. Amazon Wolverine Marvel Legends box sets got announced this week, and they actually did a little bit of a different way of announcing these toys. How did they do it this time, Dennis?
They they pieced out after Thursday last week and took a 4-day weekend, and then they got a bunch of YouTube influencers to go and one each day reveal a figure. I thought it was really cool because they curated a nice collection of different people from around the internet, and it gave me a lot of hope because I love talking about these things endlessly. And so I'm like, hey, that's my goal, man. One day I want them to send me a toy that I can just be like, look how cool this is, guys. It's so cool.
Why did you say no this first time around?
What's up? I
I
wasn't asked.
If a guy named Shartimus can get a toy review.
Hey, don't hate.
I'm not hating Shartimus. I love Shartimus.
You're hating a little bit there. Don't judge people by their names, Ricky.
That's not even my name.
You think Shartimus is his real name?
His
real name is Russ. But yeah,
those toys look sick. I almost ponied up cool, 120. Was it on Amazon?
It was 120. It's about $24 a pop for each of the 5 figures. You get Callisto, you get Mastermind, and Cyber, which is the first time those 3 have ever been made as Marvel Legends. And then you get a repainted Omega Red with a new head sculpt, and you get Wolverine in his Magic Mike attire.
He's from the 2018. Is that the 2018 sculpt of Omega Red? Right?
Yeah, it's the 2018, which is a super hard figure to find nowadays. So I think that was one of the reasons they chose to redo this one.
What Wolverine run is this all based off of, or are these just Wolverine characters?
I think these are all you could argue that they're all related to Wolverine. I'm surprised that they called it Wolverine and not just called it an X-Men box. But to be fair, Omega Red and Cyber are definitely Wolverine enemies.
Yeah, I learned about Cyber the first time this week. He's inverse Wolverine with the skin, adamantium skin, right?
Yeah.
I used to have those. I learned about him from those cards. Do you remember those? The ones that form a picture back in the day. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
What were they called? Marvel Masterpiece.
Masterworks or Masterpiece or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's a cool box set that's available only on Amazon right now. It just went up today for pre-order, and it'll be released in December 17th. So they got me pre-ordering stuff in June for stuff that I'll be like, what is this when it arrives on my doorstep, and be like, oh yeah,
don't you pay an annual subscription for Hasbro Pulse too?
I do, but this is through Amazon.
Don't you pay an annual subscription for Amazon?
Yeah, I do.
Amazon Pulse subscription for.
Yeah, it's in fairness. I actually saw people bitching about that Hasbro subscription today. And I'm like, I don't understand why people do. It's no different than paying for Prime. You know what I mean?
No.
Because I'll be honest, I don't use Prime for the TV shows. I don't. That's not my.
No, it's reason. For the shipping. That's what
it's the shipping exactly. The TV shows are a bonus. But yeah, this is so it's no different. When I buy stuff on Hasbro Pulse, I save money on shipping every time, and then I also get. They actually sell stuff for $2 less each figure, so the savings there. You guys, anybody watching the show, the savings are there. Exactly. Anybody watching this show knows that the past 3 weeks, Hasbro has got me for everything. The 3 weeks in a row, we're talking about Marvel Legends. What the hell? That's too much.
Dennis almost got me with this one too. This one looks too good to pass up, but
it's a cool set, man. It's a cool set. If it's any consolation, Amazon gets one set every year from Hasbro, and usually by the following year on Prime Day, you can get it for half off.
Oh, nice!
There you go.
Yeah,
all right. I'm just hoping for that pandemic to end already. That way, I can go to Dennis's house and play toys.
You can play toys. That's fine, but your kids aren't allowed to play toys.
No, F them. Well. To be fair, my kids are adults, so
I know.
I can't play toys,
but if you don't want them to touch it, I'll tell them not to.
I let Ricky touch one toy one time, and the leg just fell off. Just fell off.
Comically fell off.
Just completely.
His leg fell off. Yeah, he's pretty old.
Completely broke a leg.
It was an old toy, to be fair.
It was not that old. It was like 2 years old.
Ricky got some duct tape and just put it on there.
I super glued it, and
Like
then I
Dumb and
went
Dumber.
and then I bought a replacement because I needed to.
Dennis was petting the leg. Pretty bird. Pretty bird.
Yeah.
And then last bit of news dropped like hours before this show, hours before we started the show. Issa Rae, she's going to be joining the Into the Spider-Verse sequel as Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman.
I appreciate you answering the question I was just about to ask you.
Yeah,
Which Spider-Woman? Okay, Jessica Drew. Interesting. All right.
I haven't seen confirmation that she's playing Jessica Drew, but the Variety article.
Wait a minute.
Listed as Jessica Drew.
Oh, this is awkward.
How many other Spider-Women are there?
3.
Well, technically there's 3. 4. Yes. Okay.
Do they all have? Is it like a Captain Marvel situation where there's different powers, or are they all the same power?
Yes.
Yeah.
Different powers. There's also 2 Jessica Drews.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going. Like, there's the clone, and then
there's the clone of Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe that took on the name Jessica Drew because she thought it was a cool name. But it is actually a Peter Parker.
I can't remember what the reason was. Didn't she?
They didn't really have a good name. It's just like you just learned a little bit about Peter right then and there. Like you're like, oh, so I guess if I ever turned into a woman, I'd like to be called Jessica. Like that's just Peter. That's just what Peter decided one day. But yeah, Jessica Drew is a pretty old school character who they've been toying around a lot. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that they want her in the MCU as well.
Daisy Ridley is the rumor right now.
God.
Well,
she's bad. She's a bad actress. She's a very bad actress. Prove me wrong.
I can't.
Yeah, okay.
I like her, though. I like her only because she's hella cute.
Maybe she plays the version of Jessica Drew.
Jessica Drew, she's British, right?
No.
But if Marvel scouts out Daisy Ridley, then I'd probably be better with it. Like I wouldn't go in there like hating on it, you know, because Marvel usually picks like winners to play it, even people that you think were wouldn't. Like Bautista, like I would have never thought Bautista would be a Drax.
Well, to be fair, I don't think we'll ever get like a Jessica Drew solo movie or a Spider-Man solo movie, at least for the next couple years.
No, like, the next couple of years are set, so no, nothing. We're definitely not getting
like
for the next.
Dennis was yawning at you. He's bored.
We would see. I feel like we would see a Spider-Woman in another movie before we get a solo movie. So you'll get like a vibe check. I would imagine
like a passing. Report. Or what would you call it? Put over.
If it's any consolation, Jessica Drew and Carol Danvers are best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that should happen at some point.
Spider-Woman doesn't have Spider-Man's powers, right?
No, she has pheromone powers.
Well, everyone has the strength and the speed.
Yes, but they. So basically, everybody other than Spider-Man has better than Spider-Man powers.
That's 100% true. Except they don't all have the sense. They don't all have the Spidey sense.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but Miles is better for sure.
She basically has Miles' power except without the invisibility, right? She has the bio.
She has sexy powers too.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Miles has sexy powers.
Forget about the pheromones.
Yeah,
she's got one artist that didn't he draw like porno poses or something?
I remember that one.
Yeah. She has sexy powers. Yes. Was that all the news you had for us?
That's the news. Yeah.
No, that's not all the news.
He was asking about the
what's the other news?
The new comics for the week.
Oh yes, new comics for the week. Of course.
Frank,
how could I forget those?
Tell us how excited you are about these
comics for the week.
Frank, I'd like you to do all of your voices that you can.
I'm hello, Governor. I'm Spider-Man.
I don't know.
Amazing Spider-Man number 67. And then regular Frank, Black Cat number 7. I'm regular Frank. There, that's pretty much it. I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Savage Avengers, I'm interested in. X-Force, X-Force I actually haven't read up on, but I want to get back into X-Force.
The last time I read them was when Clayton Crane was drawing for them.
He did that Apocalypse storyline.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool comic book.
And Nonstop Spider-Man's on my pull list.
What's the premise of Nonstop Spider-Man?
It's like all action. Like there's not a lot of exposition. It just goes from one action piece to the next.
I need this comic in my life.
Fairly cool.
I need to read Nonstop Spider-Man. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Good name. Nonstop Spider-Man.
That's a great name. They could do that for all their comics if they wanted to,
Super 90s.
Yeah. And then there's the new collections. Look at that. Spider-Woman, King in Black, Volume 2.
Yeah, they're feeding her in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about Spider-Woman on the soapbox.
Spider-Man, the death of Captain Stacy. Spider-Man, the death of Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man, son of the Goblin.
Man, Gwen Stacy's mom must hate Spider-Man. How come they haven't made her into a villain?
They probably have.
They brought in her kids, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah.
Look at this. Marvel Unlimited. They've picked up Warhammer 40,000. That's so weird.
I believe it's 40K. Is how you pronounce that?
Yeah, well, it says 40,000 right there, but you're right. It is 40K. I didn't write the words. I didn't write those. That's Marvel.
You've been to one too many Comic-Cons where you should just know that inherently.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm also really weirded out that they use double quotes on Marvel's Voices Legacy 1. I'm just catching the typos in their stuff. I literally copy and paste their lists. I don't do any edits on them. So, anyways, that's all the new stuff that you can go read on Marvel Unlimited as of right now, or actually as of 2 days ago. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do you have anything else you wanted to chat about before we switch over to the soapbox? Did you have any specific? You want me to answer that question, Ricky, about mutants in space?
Mutants in space.
There's plenty of mutants in space.
Would they just be aliens, or they carry the mutant gene?
Well, they're aliens, but they have the mutant gene. Some of them.
Okay. I was like, how do you just?
They even have symbiotes that are mutants.
Yeah.
The mutant gene is its own thing.
Marvel's definition of mutant is if you're born different from the norm, like genetically different from everybody before you. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
easy peasy.
Yeah. So there are mutants everywhere.
No, I'm excited that we had a little siesta, a month-long siesta of looking back at the history of Marvel cinema. Yeah, but next week we're back in it.
That's a good way to wrap us up for sure.
Great way to describe Howard the Duck, Marvel cinema.
Yeah. No, yeah. We did that for fun, just to kind of like keep us on our toes until Loki came out, which is next Wednesday. So we're really excited to have that one come back. We've got our bingo ready to go. We'll have some charities picked out for those. And yeah, we're excited because we have a whole 6 weeks of guests lined up for us to come and chat it up and speculate. We get that's the difference, right? Is when a new show comes, we get to like do fan theories and go down crazy rabbit holes and stuff like that. Like Howard the Duck, Frank and I knew what we were getting. Like Ricky did not know what he was getting, except for the boobs.
Next week we're back into Frank sailboat conspiracies and
I do want to just clarify something for anybody who did put up with us for the last few weeks and all the weird movies that we chose to watch and Howard the Duck. Last week I had one screen. Normally I operate with two screens. Last week I had one going because my other one malfunctioned. So when I was doing my section of the Howard the Duck, I actually didn't have the webcams on the screen. I couldn't see them. So I apologize because I only found out later that Ricky had about 4 minutes of duck boob straight just on the screen. And I only found out like after the show aired when my wife's like, what was going on with that show? Why did you let Ricky do duck boob for that long? And it's like, what are you talking about? I didn't see that. So apologies to everybody out there who like who got too much duck
If
boob.
duck boobs offend you, then I don't want you watching the show.
Oh my god.
I
The
mean,
views of Rick.
Line in the sand.
I feel like that's the way to end the show, right? Like that's probably
They were just about to call the deal for showing off their Marvel Legends toys, and then they just put down the phone. They were right about to dial.
Free the Tatas.
They were just about to do it. They had me.
That's
lined
my
up.
charity for Loki.
They're like, I think it's time. It's time. We tap Dennis on the shoulder and give him the entire Excalibur wave. And they're like, wait, what is this duck boob stuff?
Oh, that's disgusting. They were going to do a Howard the Duck line.
That's what we're getting now.
You did it.
They're all like, what a bunch of duck perverts. And they just hung up.
Yes. All right. Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap up. This was an interesting one to do the show first and then the news and stuff. I didn't dislike it. It did keep us more on track, I gotta say, guys. That was pretty weird.
Don't expect it. Don't expect it.
Okay, obviously Loki, we're just gonna go forever for sure. But I think we just want to say really quick. I think all three of us would definitely endorse New Mutants. So if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty fun movie, man. Like it's like whether or not you like X-Men movies, I think it's a fun movie on its own. And then I think the other thing we wanted to do is give a nice shout out to our special extra cool patron who Ian Jones, who actually joined us in the chat on the soapbox last week to help talk about Howard the Duck. So thanks so much for doing that. And yes, Dr. Jones, there was a lot of duck boob and duck condom too. So hopefully we'll see you there in a few minutes when we switch over to the soapbox tonight. We do have more fun facts to talk about New Mutants and also whatever random other Tinder stories Ricky has for us, I'm sure.
I want to run Ricky through the different Spider Women too.
That's true. We're going to run through the different Spider Women. So thank you all for joining us. Again, a nice shout out to Mikey for joining us for that first hour and for taking the time out of his week to watch the New Mutants. That was really cool. Frank, what should people do?
They should smash that like button, subscribe. And even if you didn't like the show, we'll get better. We promise. Just tell us what to do. Tell us what we could change. We can change. You want Ricky gone? We'll send him out. We'll tell him to go and take his duck boobs with him.
He's gone.
That's what my dad said. My parents' marriage falling apart.
Oh, right.
You want Ricky gone? And with that, that's our show.
Oh man!
Never mind. Don't smash the like button. I'm
sorry.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching Den Excelsior. We'll see you next time. Enough said.